All right, fellas, welcome back. How's everybody doing? Today is Monday, March 16th, 2024, and this is just a reminder that there are 8 days left until my birthday. That is right. 8 days left until I turn, and I can't believe this. I can't believe I'm saying this myself, until I turn 36 years old. I know. You look at me and you're like, that man is not a day over 25, right? Okay, I might be exaggerating a little bit. Okay, a day over 29, right? Like it's hard to believe I'm even in my 30s. Looking at me, I know. Like ignoring like all the wrinkles and the baldness and the obesity, just put all of that aside, and then it's really difficult to believe that I am as old as I am, and I will soon be 36 years old. But how's everybody doing? I hope you're having a much fantastic week and a much fantastic day. Henna is in the chat room saying hello, Henna. I'm going to let me send the link out to a few people. Matthew, you get ID'd for alcohol and energy drinks too? Constantly. You have to be 18 to buy cigarettes in the United States. I think some places are trying to change it to 21. Because you can be old enough to go to war and die, but you can't be old enough to actually smoke a cigarette. Every time I buy cigarettes, I get carded constantly. Actually, sometimes I just get carded walking into a liquor store. Like they're like, sir, we don't allow minors in here, and I have to show my like vape shops, right? Like vape shops that sell some other questionable items. Like I think you have to be 20. I don't know if you have to be 18 or 21 to go into those, but I walk in the door and immediately it's just like, sir, no. Children are not allowed in the store. And I'm like, whoa, calm down, fellas, calm down. I'm old enough to be here. And I hope that you too are old enough to be on the stream. Let's go ahead and get started. So if you are an astute listener of my stream, if you are what you might consider yourself an observable person, whereas as you get older, you start to learn certain things about yourself, and you start to accept. It's not even so much to learn certain things about yourself. You start to accept certain things about yourself. I have learned to accept that I am not an observant person. I'm just not. I wish I was. I don't know how to change it. Maybe it can be changed. Actually, I keep meaning to look up videos on how to be more observant, but I'm just not an observant person. I completely forgot where I was going with this. Where was I going with this? We're talking with observe. Like I don't remember. But let me just do this. Oh, if you are an observant person, you might have realized that I mentioned on Thursday when I last did a stream that I would be at my mother's this week, and that I was going to go visit my mother. And oh boy, howdy, oh, woo! That is that's a hoot and a holler for sure. Oh my God. Do I want to talk about the adventure at my mother's, or do I want to talk about our good pal, friend of the stream, Robbie? What? You know what? I'm going to let ladies first. If Henna is still there, I'm going to let Henna decide if she wants to hear the story of my mother first, about my mother, or if she wants to hear about Robbie first. So Henna, the ball is in your court. Ladies choice. That's what it is. Ladies choice. So we'll just wait for her, but then again, asking a woman to make a decision is sometimes it's only a 2-hour stream. So she says she wants to hear about my mom. All right. So we'll talk a little bit about my mom while we're trying to do some stuff. So I ended up going to my mother's on Friday. There are various reasons. Can you casual level design while you talk? I believe I can. I was going to do some like map stuff. Ugh, I hate when I do that. I was going to do some map stuff. I'll just do some casual map stuff while I'm talking about this. So Otherwise, this is a podcast. Well, is this not a podcast? Or I don't know. So I decide to, actually, my wife and I, like, my wife decides she's going to come with me and go to my mother's on Friday night. And Friday, I tapped out of work a little bit early, and it was fine. And I got there, and we got there. It was very uneventful, very, very uneventful. And then Saturday, now, mind you, I had talked to Robbie. I know Hannah chose my mom to talk about mom, but Robbie kind of plays into this story a little bit too. So I had texted Robbie a couple of days beforehand and said, hey, because where Robbie lives, I'll show you. Where Robbie lives is not actually that far from my mother. So if I go to Cambridge, Maryland, which is where my mother lives, she lives here in Cambridge, Maryland. And then Robbie, now where's my mouse highlighter? Why is the mouse highlighter not working? Apply setting. Oh, my stars and garters. Why is this not working? Okay, wait a second. Okay. So over here, this is like this little peninsula over here is where my mother lives, right? This is where my mother lives. And just for context, I'm over here where it says Ashburn. I'm over here, right? And then this is where my mother lives in this area. And then Robbie lives here in this town called Salisbury, Maryland. Okay. So he's not that far. He's not actually that far from my mother, maybe a half-hour drive, as opposed to the normal, two and a half hour drive that I am from Robbie. So anyway, I had plans with Robbie on Saturday, because what was going to happen is I was going to go down to Ocean City, which is right here, Ocean City. My mother had plans all day Saturday, right? She was doing she's doing one of those old people things where they like to volunteer, right? Like to get out and, keep the blood flowing, keep the juices flowing, which I don't want to talk about my mother's juices. I don't know why I said that. That's gross. But, so she was gone for most of the day on Saturday. And I went to Ocean City on Saturday. My wife and I. But needless to say, which we'll get into on the second half of this, needless to say, I did not see Robbie. Remind me to talk about Robbie after I'm done the story with my mother. I did, ironically enough, I did send the link to Robbie, so I kind of hope he joins. I would love it if he joins. And Robbie, please let yourself be known if you're if you're listening to the stream. So anyway, Saturday, my mother, she's gone. And that's fine, because I went to Ocean City and did all these other things. It was a great day. Saturday, excellent day. Barely saw my mom, right? So then comes Sunday. Oh boy. Then comes Sunday. So on Sunday morning, the plan is that the four of us, we were going to go and we were going to get a late breakfast. My uncle, so again, here, I'm all the way over here, right? On the left-hand side in this place called Ashburn. And then that's where I live, Sterling, Virginia, right there. And then my mother lives in this area, and then Robbie's down here in Salisbury. But my mother is actually out here on this peninsula. Like she's I don't know exactly where. It's like she's somewhere around here in this area, right? And and if you zoom in, you can see there's a lot of nothing. Right? It's just a lot of farmland. There's some houses. There's a lot of nothing here. But it's nice. It's nice and quiet. It's beautiful. It's still. And my uncle, he lives in the actual town of Cambridge, Maryland. So my uncle goes to church at this. I don't know if this is the actual church. Maybe. I honestly don't know. I just know the church that he goes to is near my mother's house, and that is near my mother's house. So the plan is, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go to church, or not. My uncle is going to go to church, and after church, my uncle is going to come to my mother's house, and then we will go to breakfast, right? And there's this diner in a town not too far over. Oh, it's a little far over. We'll get into that in a second. But there's a diner in a town a little far over that my mother and my uncle, they often go to for lunch. I mean, for breakfast. I really like the fact that my uncle and my mother, because like growing up, my uncle wasn't around very much. And that's fine. He's an uncle, right? You know, he's out doing cool uncle shit, right? I was never very. The project you are opening contains compilation errors. I'm just going to ignore them. So he's out doing cool uncle shit and, you know, whatever. But now kind of later in life, my mother and my uncle, brother and sister, they've kind of reconnected, which is good because they're both single and they're both advancing in years. They're what we call, I don't know if you have this term in Europe, and Henna or Matt, I don't know if you've ever heard this term, but they're what we would call Irish twins, meaning that they're not actually twins, but they have a birthday from the same mother that is less than a year apart. So, you know, it's like some people, it's like, you know, they couldn't wait to get back on that horse again, right? If you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, so they're very close in age, and now that they're both like advancing in their years, they have reconnected as brother and sister. Get your mind out of the gutters, you sickos. And they kind of have each other, which I am very good because I know, again, my mother, look, look, there's literally nothing around where my mother lives, okay? Like my mother, where's her house? Her house, it's over here somewhere. There's nothing there, nothing. So I'm glad that like they kind of have each other. So my uncle comes over and we're at my mother's house and we're all deciding like, well, we're going to go out to breakfast. Like we're getting ready. Like I'm putting my shoes on and like everybody's doing what they need to do in order to get ready to go to breakfast. And, so we decide, okay, well, should we take multiple cars? And we're like, well, you know, no, let's just take one car. Now, mind you, I refuse. I will not ride in the car with my mother driving. And the reason I will not ride in the car with my mother driving is because from where my mother is, I don't know what this point of view is, but let's just say that's where my mother is. From point of view, directions from here. Now, to Cambridge, this is an 18-minute drive. This drive will take my mother 45 minutes easily to get from her house to downtown Cambridge. Half hour, 45 minutes, no questions asked. Boom. It's how she is. An old lady driving. That's fine. She has accepted it. I have accepted it. We have all accepted it. She is an old lady driving. And as a result, I will not ride in a car with her because it drives me nuts. She will be one of these people that says, well, just because the speed limit is 35 doesn't mean you have to go 35. Like, okay, yep, you're right. You're right. No, I like to play it safe. Like my mother, all my life, I've said that my mother, because her argument is that it's safer to go below the speed limit. Whereas like my mother drives so cautiously that she is an endangerment. Like when you drive, there's a certain amount of like chutzpah that you have to have, right? Like there's certain situations in traffic where you have to take the reins. Otherwise, people are going to walk all over you. Or there's certain expectations. Like one of the things that fucking drives me nuts, and this happens in my little neighborhood often, it drives me up a fucking wall that people will think they're being nice, where they're coming around and people are waiting to make a left-hand turn. And so some people coming around on this road, what will they do? They'll come to a stop. There's no stop sign there. They'll come to a stop so that car can take a left-hand turn because they're doing something. Do you not know what a hazard that is? That is dangerous. There's no stop sign there. Nobody is expecting you to stop. The most important thing you can do when you are driving is be predictable. Be predictable. So anyway, I don't like to ride with my mother. No, I don't like to ride with my mother. And my uncle is a finicky person. So I was like, okay, We'll go in my car. We'll go in my car. Let's go in my car. Okay. So we go out, and I don't know where we're going. Like, I have a general idea, but I don't know where we're going. So I'm driving because I'm the man, and that's what men do. We drive, and that's fine. Women like to be a passenger princess, and I'm happy. Like, I prefer to be in control. That's fine. I can have my passenger princess. But I'm like, okay, who's going to be the passenger princess? Well, my wife wants to sit up front. Okay, that's fine. So it's me in the driver's seat, my wife in the passenger seat, then behind me is my uncle, and then behind me and to the other side is my mother. And so I say, where are we going? And my uncle says, we're going to, he talks, but he's a very monotone speaker. We're going to Mom and Pop's Diner down in Hurlock. And my mom's like, yeah, we're just gonna go down we're gonna go down to Mom and Pop's. I'm like, okay. So I get my phone out and I start looking up directions. My mom, no, Eddie. For reasons I don't want to talk about, my family calls me Eddie. And I am not joking. I will ban you if you call me Eddie. Just putting that out there. I shouldn't have said anything, but well, the reason that I'm called Eddie is because I have my name is my father's name. And my father, when he came to the United States, he worked as a bartender. And our first name is Adelaide. And he worked for this old Russian guy that could not pronounce my father's name. And so the bartender said, I'm going to call you Ed. And so my father goes by Ed. And then, of course, I, being his firstborn that we know of, being his first child, I got the name Eddie. Anyway, I swear to God, haha, that text, that placeholder text in the Quest UI. Oh, Lipsum or whatever the fuck comes next in the description. I noticed that. Oh, one sec, got to pay attention here. One sec. Okay, so we get in the car. And I'm like, okay, let me get my phone out, putting it in my phone because I'm going to use the G. No, Eddie, it's really simple. All right, okay, well, I'm just looking up Mom and Pops. No, you don't need that. It's two turns. It's two, like, okay, that's fine, but I know it's more than two turns because it takes two turns just to get onto the main road. But I'm like, that's fine. I'll just put it in. No. Just listen to me. I'll give you directions. Like, Mom, I just wanted, it's fine. And just let me, no. Eddie, I can give you a direct, and like by this point I'm driving, right? Like I've put it into the GPS. The GPS has calculated, and like, my uncle in the background, in the back seat, he's like, it really is very simple, but the GPS does make it easier. And my mom's like, Eddie, just listen to me. I'm like, Mom, I put it in the GPS, but can't you just listen to me? And I'm like, I just want to use it. Now I'm driving. I just want to use the GPS. So we get on the main road, and like the conversation has simmered down, and it has simmered down, and now we're on the main road, and it's coming up on the turn now, and I'm like, and she's like, you're gonna want to get over, and I'm like, mind you, she's already been telling me, oh, you're gonna turn up here, and I'm like, Mom, I have the GPS. And now we're coming up on the left-hand turn to turn off the main road onto this other road. And she's like, okay, you're going to want to get over. I'm like, Mom, please. I have the GPS. I know, but you don't need that. I can just tell you how to go. I'm like, Mom, I have the GPS. It's already in. And mind you, the GPS is like every time the GPS would talk, my mother would talk over it. So much so, I was the only one that heard it, because when we were coming back, my uncle says, "Oh, you've got the voice turned on now." And I was like, "I had the voice turned on before, but you kept talking over it," or something I don't remember what I said, but that's basically what I said. You kept talking over it. Anyway, so I make the turn, and I'm already like heart rate just like boom, 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 boom. And I'm just like, okay, calm down, calm down. Now look, I admittedly have a short temper at times, right? Like I can have a short temper, and it is something that in probably the past 2 to 3 years, I have made a big effort to kind of rein it in, right? To like when I get stressed or flustered, I have made a big effort to just rein it in and just kind of like take a deep breath and realize like it's not that bad. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's going to be fine. So we're driving along, and she's like, and my mother will just not fucking let up. But, you know, I don't understand what the big deal is. I could have told you how to get there. What's the big deal about me using the GPS? Well, but you what? You think I don't? You think I'm going to get us lost? I just want to do you. And I'm like, at this point, I'm literally, you can hear it in my voice. And I'm not making this up. I'm literally pleading with her. I'm like, Mom, please stop. Please. Well, what, you think I mean, I've only lived here for 10 years, and I'm like, Mom, you need to shut the fuck up. I have asked you nicely multiple times. Just shut the fuck up. Well, I don't understand why. Just shut up. Let me fucking drive. And like, I literally threatened to turn the car around. Like, I am now the father in this situation, threatening to turn the car around because my mother will not shut the fuck up. Oh my God. I'm getting angry just reliving this. Just talking about this is getting me angry. So we're getting closer to the diner, and like my mother is just in the back. She's just being packed. I can't believe it. She's talking quietly because now I've been yelling, and I'm like, Mom, I understand you need to have the last word. Please just stop. Well, and so I just let it go. But she's just in the back. I just don't know what this day's gonna. I just can't believe this. Oh my God. Oh my God. And so now we're getting closer to the diner, and we're coming up. I can see the map on the GPS that it's telling me they're going to take a left. And then she's like, do you want to know a shortcut to get there? I'm like, Mom, I have the GPS. And she's like, but the GPS isn't going to know my shortcut. I'm like, Mom, please stop. And she's like, you're going to want to take a left up there. And right as she says, as she is saying that, I hear the fucking Google up ahead, left turn on such and such street. And I'm just like, oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. So we finally get to the diner, and like, she's like, you're going to want to pull over there and park. And I just park. I'm like, I don't care how far you have to walk. I'm parking right the fuck here. So we park. Oh my God. Oh my God. This was the first considerable time that I had spent with my mother in months, right? Like, I have been going, like you guys know, I have been going over to my mother's house. Something, like, I guess this is back in January or February, something like she was acting like her memory was not good. One sec, I got to pay attention here. But back in January or so, I noticed that something just in her memory was just not, it was different. I'll just put it like that. It was different. And so I'm just trying to reassure myself that just like, okay, just just calm down. So we have this very tense breakfast where she's just refusing to make eye contact with me. And at this point, I don't give a fuck. I'm just done. I'm just pissed off. I'm just fucking livid. So we have our breakfast, a very awkward, intense breakfast. And then by some miracle of God, by some grace of Jesus himself, she doesn't talk about the fucking directions on the way home. She doesn't try to tell me where to go. She doesn't say anything about turn here, go there, go straight. None of that. I don't know how that happened, but it almost makes me believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you. Thank you. So we get back to my mom's house, and then after that, it's mostly a casual day, except one of the biggest complaints about my mother that I've had for years is that she talks. I don't want to say that she talks to me like I'm 12. Because she, like, when it's just her and I, it's very pleasant. It's very nice. She doesn't talk to me like I'm 12 when it's just her and I. But if there is someone else in the room, she has to present this dynamic that she is the mother and I am the son. And everybody needs to know that, and that somehow she trumps me in whatever way you want to interpret that. But that's how I feel it. That's how I feel it. And it's just all these little, like I'm having an espresso. You know, you shouldn't have too many of those. You're going to be up all night. I'm having some water before bed. Well, you know, you're going to be up peeing all night if you do that. I'm like, Mom, I am 51 years old. Do you think I don't know my body? Do you So here's a story to give you a good example of how this fucking, like, how this presents itself. So this, again, it has to do with a diner. This was maybe 10 years ago. 10 years ago when her husband was still alive. Her latest husband, her last husband. And so it was the three of us. We go to this diner, not the same diner. It was a different diner. And we go in and we're sitting down. And then in the booth next to us comes this young woman. And mind you, this is 10 years ago. So at this time, I think I had moved back from Florida. So that would have been at least 2018. So I was at least 43, 44, maybe 45 years old. Okay. No, I wouldn't have been 45 because I would have been. I might have been. I can't remember if it was before or after COVID. I think it was before COVID. So I was probably like early 40s. And we're at the diner, my stepfather, my mother, and I. And this young woman who's probably in her maybe late 20s comes in. And it's her and a man who I presume is her boyfriend, husband, I don't know. And she has a little baby. And it's a super cute baby. The baby was in one of those happy baby moods where it's wiggling its feet and it's smiling and making those cute baby sounds. It was an adorable, adorable baby. And my mother looks over at the woman, and she's like, how old is she? And she does. It's not abrasive like that. You know, I don't want to misrepresent it, not completely, but I don't want to misrepresent it. You know, she's like, oh, your baby's adorable, and the woman's like, thank you, and then my mother's like, how old is she, or how, is it a boy or a girl? And I'm maybe it's a girl, and so my mother says, oh, well, how old is she? And she said 8 months, however old the baby was. It was less than a year old, 8 months, and my mother goes, oh, they're so cute at that age, but enjoy it while it lasts because then they grow up to be this. and she puts her hand out like that, as though pointing to me. Now, I'm not insulted by that. I'm not insulted, right? Because I understand that, like, yeah, they grow up and then they turn into this, like a little monster. They go from baby to little monster really cute, or like really quickly. Like, it's something you say to when you are 8 years old, to a child that is 8 years old, right? Well, then they grow up to be this. I was literally older than the mother who she was talking to. Like, I am probably twice her age. I'm sure I was old enough to be that girl's father. And she's sitting there, my mother is sitting there like, and then they grow up to be like this. And I just give my mother this look like, really? Like, really? Like, she does this where she talks about me in front of me like I'm 8 or like I'm 10. Like, I believe Henna's son is like 10 years old. That's where my mother thinks I am still. And like, you can be like this, well, you're always a baby to your mother. Like, your mom will always see you as a baby. That's fine. Don't fucking treat me like one, though. Like, you can see me as your kid. Like, my daughter. I love my daughter. And I still want to, like, protect her in that way that, like, when she was, like, 5. Like, I still have those instincts to protect her in that way. But I also know that she's a grown fucking woman. And I wouldn't disrespect her to be like, well, you gotta enjoy it or else they grow up to be like this. Like, what the fuck is that? So, now, the reason I left my mother's house early, and I will admittedly say that I overreacted this morning, but my overreaction was the result of a culmination of the incident with the GPS, with the like, well, you shouldn't drink too much water or else you're going to be up all night peeing, or just the constant criticism. And like I said, it's not like this when it's just her and I, but I think the fact that my wife was there, So this morning, sorry, tension here, 2 minutes. So this morning, oh God. I need to be a little careful. Not really, but I do. But I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I had this meeting at 8:30 in the morning. I had a work meeting. And one of the things I love about going to my mother's is she has this beautiful screened-in back porch. Like, I have been wanting a screened-in back porch in my house since I've moved in. But just the way my house is laid out and the expense that would be involved, it's not going to happen. It's probably like unless like I somehow fall ass backwards into Elon Musk money. Well, in that case, I'm just buying a new, but you know what I mean, right? Like, it's just probably not going to happen. So I have this. So I go downstairs at around 8 o'clock. My mom's like, do you want me to make you avocado toast? She's been talking about this avocado toast for days. Like, she's like, I can't wait to make you avocado toast. I've been making it. It's so good. And I'm like, and so I come downstairs and I'm like, she's like, are you going to go on the porch? And I'm like, yeah, because it was warm. It was warm outside. And she's like, okay, no big deal. No big deal. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go out there. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, I've got a meeting at 8:30. Okay. And then I go out, I set everything up. And now, mind you, I'm a bit of a scatterbrain. And so I'm out on the porch and I forget something upstairs. So I got to go upstairs and then I come back down. And like each time I'm like, oh yeah, what time is it? And she's like, oh, it's 8:20. I'm like, all right, I got 10 minutes to my meeting. So she gives me the avocado toast and she's like, are you on your meeting yet? And I'm like, no, it starts in like 10 minutes or whatever it was. I'm like, okay. So I literally go in to take a leak and it's like 8:28 and she's still in the kitchen. And I'm like, all right, I'm getting ready to start my meeting. Like, I'm going back outside. Like, I tell her, like, okay, yeah, like my meeting's starting. Okay. I go outside and I'm in the meeting. The meeting had been going on for like 2 or 3 minutes. My mother comes onto the street. It is her house. She can do what she wants. She comes onto the screen, opens the door. Do you mind if I sit out here with you? I'm on the fucking meeting. Oh my God. And I'm just like, and now I'm running the meeting. And like, I'm just flustered. I'm like, and like she starts moving shit around because there's this little table and she's moving shit around so she can sit down with her. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And so I just grab my laptop and I just go upstairs. And and then I get upstairs and I realize, fuck, the thing I need is downstairs on the porch. So now I go back to the porch and then I'm like, and it was just like, and like, I'm just like, I'm so fucking pissed off, so fucking distracted. I'm just like, meeting canceled. And I was so fucking pissed off. And again, was my reaction appropriate for that particular incident? No, it wasn't. But again, it was a culmination of everything. And so I just threw everything in my bags. I had like 3 or 4 bags. I just threw every fucking thing in and I just left. I had to get the fuck out of there because I would have ended up, there would have been violence. Oh my God. Just the like, is it okay if I join you? And then just like, and I'm like trying to run a fucking meeting. Oh my God. Oh. That was my weekend. So how are you guys doing? Oh my God. Like, I come home, I got home and I start texting my sister. Like, so my parents split up when I was a baby and I have 2 sisters, like, and I'm the oldest out of all the children my dad and my mom have, like together and apart. Well, I'm the only that they have together, but even apart, I am the oldest out of all of them. And so I have 2 younger sisters on my mom's side, and I have 3 younger sisters and 2 younger brothers on my dad's side that we know about. So I start texting the older of my 2 younger sisters on my mom's side. And I'm just like, I just let it all out. And my sister was like, yep. Like the thing is like, she's always been difficult. I think mothers in general are just difficult. They're just difficult. Like, and I think it's probably because of the dynamic. And I want to say sons in particular, but the only experience I have with a mother is as a son. But I kind of do want to say in particular, just because there's a different dynamic between a mother and a son and a mother and a daughter, obviously. But I think just because the fact that they are our mothers, things kind of grate on us a little more rough, a little rougher than they would if it was some other rando person. And so I think because of that, like they get under your skin more. And like literally, like I said earlier, I have made a conscious effort to get my temper under control. I've never gotten violent. Well, I've never gotten violent against a person. I have thrown things. I have broken things. I have done that. Not proud of it. I've done it. I've never hurt a person. Not sure I would say I'm proud of that. I'm just saying I've never punched a person or anything like that. Never done that. But it was like at my mother's, I was like, I need to get out of here or there's going to be violence. Like it's like there would be violence. And so I needed to get out of there. It was, but she's always been difficult. She's always been difficult, but never like that. Never like that consistently. Like she's been that difficult before in spurts. Like the incident at the diner 10 years ago I told you about, right? Like that was probably like in that time period, that was probably the only thing in that time period that actually happened that bothered me so much. But this weekend, it was unrelenting. And I honestly think that her behavior is changing. And I know she's depressed. She lost her husband 2 years ago now. Maybe it was 3 years ago. Trying to remember. I think it was 2. I'm not exactly sure, but it was 2 or 3 years ago. She lost her husband, and she lives in the middle of nowhere. Look, there's nothing there. There's nothing here. And so, and I've been telling her, I'm like, like 2 years, possibly 3 years have passed. He died. He died, I think it was like May. It was sometime around in May. You know what? I can look this up. By way of Airbnb. Because when I went out to the funeral, I stayed at an Airbnb because she had so many people staying at her house. But that's fine. I'm not really mad at that. I just want to look this up now because it's pertinent and it's relevant to me, not to you, but to me. View past trips in your profile. Alrighty. Let's see. I think it was either 20. Was this it? This might have been it. Oh, no. No. I don't think that was it. Sao Paulo, Harare, Hawaron, Cape Town, Itambebe, La Paz, Canus, Helsinki, Rovaniemi, Jakobstad, St. Pierre. This is it. Okay, so it was 2023. So it actually will be 3 years September. 3 years September that he's passed away. And it's like, I've been telling her, maybe get a boyfriend. And she's like, I don't think I'm ever going to be intimate with a man ever again. And I'm like, okay, but I mean, I guess some 70, 80-year-old men would probably want some type of intimacy, but I don't know. I just feel like she could. And I remember once telling her that, and she's like, why? Do you think I need sex? And I'm like, no, Mom, you need companionship. That's what you need. You need a companionship. Like we all do. Like most of us do. And she just, oh my God. One second. Got to pay attention over here. All right. So there may be a chance, unrelated to my mother, there may be a chance I'm going back to South Korea. I might have to go back to South Korea in April. I'm hoping I can do Portugal and then South Korea immediately after Portugal, but we'll see. All right. So I mentioned how I was supposed to see Robbie. What happened in music? Oh, it's there. I mentioned how I was supposed to see Robbie on the trip. And so I had originally talked to him a few days ago, and I said, yeah, I think, Saturday I'm going to go down to Ocean City, and I think that would be a good day because I'm going to pass through Salisbury again, just for context. Where is oh, did I close my map? So again, for context, my mom is here, let's just say point of view, and I always find this map a little easier to look at. So my mom is here over on this area on the left-hand side. Ocean City is here, and Salisbury, as you can see, it's kind of in the middle. It's kind of in the middle. It's a little bit closer to Ocean City, but more or less in the middle. And I know he's been staying in Salisbury because he had recently broken up with his girlfriend of 33 years. They met the same summer that I met my baby mama. And I love calling my baby mama because my baby mama hates being called baby mama. But anyway, met the same year. My daughter is going to be 33 in July. And so anyway, I text him and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go to Ocean City. Why don't we meet in Ocean City and like get lunch and just get lunch and kind of catch up. And he's like, yeah, man, that sounds cool. I'm like, cool. I am an early riser. I usually get to bed, get to sleep early, and then I wake up early. Like I just am. And so I Saturday morning, I'm up nice and early. And Robbie texts me at 7:30 a.m., which I find unusual. I'm like, okay, all right, Robbie. And he's like, hey man, what's the plan for today? And I'm like on it because Robbie is scatterbrained. Like, I mean, I would say maybe 30% of the plans I make with Robbie actually come through. And so he's like, hey man, what's the plan for today? And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm probably going to leave like my mom's house around noon and going to head to Ocean City. I thought maybe we could meet there. And he's like, yeah, that sounds good. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll let you know when we're heading out. And he's like, awesome, man. Let me know. All right, cool. But I'm like, 7:30 in the morning. That's very weird. All right. So I go to Ocean City, have a fine time, but I text Robbie I'm texting him. I text him when we leave my mom's house. I text him on the way there, and I text him when we arrive. And unheard of, MIA. And I kind of figured that's what would happen, but whatever. And so, I have a nice time in Ocean City. It was a little cold and it was a little busy, like lots of stuff going on. And, for St. Patrick's Day, which is on, what is that? Is it tomorrow? St. Patrick's Day? Wow. St. Patrick's Day, 2009. So that's what, 17 years? 17 years. Yeah. 17 years. Patrick's Day, 2009, 17 years ago tomorrow. Is when I was diagnosed with cancer. Fun fact. Anyway, so whatever. I go to Ocean City, have fun. It's fine. It's a time. And so I'm a little disappointed that I didn't hear from him. And although it was expected, a little disappointed. But then I start thinking, I'm like, you know what? I bet you what happened was that Robbie hadn't gotten up early. No. I'm betting that Robbie was still awake from the previous night, partying, as he calls it, which is really just addict speak for getting fucked up. So anyway, so I text him. I'm like, hey, everything all right? Oh, gotta pay attention right here. Okay. So what was I talking? I know I was talking about Robbie. I'm trying to remember where I was. So I realized that he was probably up the night before, but I don't remember if I had texted him on Sunday or if he texted me on Sunday. But he texts me, and the gist of what he texts me is like, hey man, sorry about yesterday. And I was like, you know what? I need to know. Were you up or like, had you woken up early when you texted me on Saturday morning, or had you been up from the night before? And it's just like an LOL emoji, and he's like, yeah, I went a little, what, I forget how he worded it, but basically saying that he went a little hard the night before and confirming what I had suspected, that he was indeed awake. So then the conversation, I almost don't want to talk about this because it's sad. It's sad. But damn, it's interesting. Damn it. It's tea. It's really good tea. It's amazing tea, but it's also kind of sad tea. I came to find out from this conversation. No. You know what? I'm going to save it for a members only stream. How's that sound, Matthew? We're going to have a members only stream. I don't know when, but we're going to have a members only stream, and I'm going to tell you all about Robbie. And what was the other thing that I was going to talk about on the members only? There was something else I wanted to talk about on a members only stream. Robbie and what the hell was the other thing? Oh, it was work related, but now I don't remember what work thing it was. I'm trying to remember what work thing it was. What fucking work thing was it? Oh, I remember. So, Matthew, your keywords are Robbie. That's one story. And the other story is, I'm trying to think of a code word for it. The other story is rat license. Like a mouse, but a rat. A rat license. That's the other keyword. Rat license and Robbie. So when we do the members only stream and I'm asking you, like, what was I going to talk about? Just tell me rat license, work related rat license, and Robbie. We'll leave it at that. Yeah, I think the Robbie thing, and the more I think about it, I think the Robbie thing is a little much. It's a little much to kind of throw out there. I would feel kind of, unless Robbie, you are in the chat room. I'm going to send Robbie the link again. Wait a minute. Where did he go? There's his phone. I sent him the link again. But Robbie, if you're in the chat room and I have your blessing to talk about the conversation we had on yesterday, if I have your blessing to talk about it, I will. Otherwise, I'll save it for the members only stream. And if you are not a member and you would like to hear about Robbie, click that button. Click that button down there, right below the chat, Click that button, and for the low price of just 99 cents a month, you can become a member. And it comes with all kinds of perks, like being able to like do the emoji that Matthew just did, and other perks. All right. Razman was in the chat room earlier. He's probably gone by now. He says, I will call you Eduardo, and you're too gringo. But you're too gringo. Oh, my mother. Just. And again, it's just the way she talks. And she'll talk about me like, not only like I'm 8 years old, but she'll talk about me while I'm in the room. She'll talk about me like I'm 8 years old while I'm in the room. Oh God, and then just the thing that really got me today, where she's like, when she comes out on the porch, and it's like, do you mind if I join you? It's just this lack of respect where it's just like, and I understand respect is a two-way street, which is why if she was on a meeting, I would be conscious of that, and I probably wouldn't even go onto the porch. But if I did, I definitely wouldn't announce myself onto the porch with this like, can I join you? Oh my God. Please remind me. You previously told her you're doing a meeting multiple times, not just once, multiple times. And literally 8:28, the meeting started at 8:30 a.m. At 8:28 a.m., I run inside and I take a piss, and then I go back outside, and on my way, look, nope. I'm going to draw a little diagram. You know, I was actually looking at ways to hook my iPad up so I could actually easily draw, but that's fine. Okay. Wait. No. Install when I exit. That's fine. Okay. So let's see. Okay. Wait. Come over here. All right. Down here. Okay. So we got. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So this is the screened in back porch, right? And it's lovely. There's stairs that go out here. The house is here, right? I'm just going to draw this down here, and then this the house goes over, and then it goes over more and goes down, right? And then the doors to go onto the screened in porch are here, and then the kitchen is like right here. Well, the kitchen's like here, and then there's cabinets, and then there's more cabinets and a wall, and then there's an island, and it's a nice kitchen. And then the bathroom, and then here's the living room with the couch and the TV and all of that. And the bathroom I went to is over here. It's over here, right? It's down that way. So my mom, she is literally standing in the kitchen cooking, cooking her eggs, and then there's a table out here, beautiful screen and back porch, and my laptop is right here, and there's a chair, and I go to the bathroom, and I'm going to change the color. How can I, how do I change? Oh, okay, maybe this icon right here, right? Like, I literally come from the bathroom, right? And then I walk out here I am, and I say, hey, Mom, at 8:28, hey, I'm getting ready to start my meeting. Okay. And then I go out and I sit down. And no more than 5 minutes later, 5 fucking minutes later, la 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 la, opens the door. Mind if I join you? Oh my fucking God. Oh God. Certified no chill. Addie, I opened the stream and thought Addie is finally actually making a game and not doing a side quest. 2 seconds later, you open up Paint. Oh my God. Oh. It wasn't. Oh my God. Mind if I join? Oh, Jesus Christ. And she just has these ideas that just are like because she's my mother, that she's like entitled to like special privileges or something. And it's just like, oh, like I should be able to just like, never mind any business meeting. Sorry, I understand that you are a customer that spends literally millions of dollars at our company per year. But my mother is here. Like, what the fuck? Oh, Jesus Christ. I love my mother, but she is becoming difficult. Oh my God. I don't know. She has 3 children. That's a 1 in 3 chance that she'll have a house to live in when she gets to that age. Oh my God. but it's infuriating because it's like neither of my sisters are talking to her right now, and they haven't spoken to her for a while. And she's so fucking stubborn, so fucking stubborn. I am the only child of hers that's still talking to her. And now, like I was telling my wife, I'm like, I'm taking a break. Like I'm not petty enough where I'm not going to call her. I mean, I have been in the past, but I'm not going to do that anymore. Those days of just completely tossing her out of my life, those are done, right? I need to appreciate what time I have left with my mother because I know it's finite. And at my age and at her age, that the finiteness of that finite is becoming more finite. There's less and less time is what I'm getting at. So I try to remember that, but I need a break. I will take a break. But what I was getting at is 3 children. Now none of them are talking to her, right? And it's like, at what point when people start not talking to you, at what point do you start to look inside and think, maybe I have something to do with this? I'm not even saying she's the problem, or at least the entire problem. I'm not saying she's the entire problem, but maybe she's part of it. But no. Like when I try telling her that, when I even suggest that about the feud that she has with my sisters, when I even suggest that, oh, you just make it like you don't know what you're talking about. The favorite line, her favorite line. You never take my side. It's not a fucking contest. Oh my God, it's not a fucking game. There's no sides to take. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's just like, oh my God. Can you just let the pettiness go? Like the whole GPS thing. Can you just let it go? And then she'd be like, well, can you? And I'm like, yes, I'm shutting up. I just want to use the fucking GPS. Oh, God. Why can't I just use the GPS? Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I need a drink. I think we have vodka. I need to get some vodka. I need a fucking drink. Unbelievable. I'm so angry. It's only Monday. Great start to the week, Matthew says. Imagine if I had not left. I was literally planning to stay the whole week. I for the past, since her husband died, which as we just found out will be 3 years in September. Since her husband died, I have gone over, I don't know that I would say a lot, but I've definitely gone over multiple I've gone over probably, if I had to guess, somewhere between 5 to 10 times to stay an entire week with her, right? Because when her husband died, I was worried about her being in this house by herself and just being lonely, right? I wanted to be there for my mother. And it was a nice escape. I've talked before about how the dog here at home stresses me out, and just how sometimes just everything just kind of being at home, it just the cats, the dog, the wife, the everything, it stresses you out, right? And so going to my mother's for a week has always been a nice escape, because most of the time it's very pleasant, and I enjoy the cadence that her and I just naturally fall into, because we're there, and then she has this beautiful upstairs. It could be its own apartment. It spans the entire length of the house. It has a bedroom, it has a full bath, and it has a very open, spacious living room. And she's got everything up there. Oh, this woman loves stuff. She loves stuff. So there's plenty of stuff upstairs, but there's a couch, there's a television, there's a nice bed with a dresser, and there's a television in the bedroom too. What I'm getting at is the upstairs is basically its own little apartment. So I will go over there, and during the day, I'll work. I'll work upstairs in this little apartment, and it's nice. I can go downstairs, get something to eat, say hi to my mom, and then sometimes we'll run to the store really quick or whatever. And then usually around 4 or 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, depending on how work is going, but usually at some point in the late afternoon, I'll come downstairs, and we'll just sit on the couch and watch TV and talk. Like, that to me is quality time with my mother. Everybody has their own little version of quality time with their parents. To me, with my mom, my quality time is just her over there on the couch, me over here on the other couch, watching the television here. She'll flip through shows and she'll be like, what about this? Well, what about this? And like, we were planning to watch The Pitt because I introduced her to, because she has HBO Max, because of course she does. So, because this woman, she loves to have stuff, and that includes digital stuff. So I started watching season 2 of The Pitt, and so she got into it, and we were going to go back and watch season 1. We were going to finish it this week, and it was like a whole plan, and I was thinking like, all right, like with the stream, I was like, well, I'm probably not going to, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I'll try streaming, but I'm probably not going to stream a lot because I want to hang with my mom. Fuck no! No! Oh my God. Matthew says I could keep her company. Good luck. No. Oh, you would probably get along great with her. She would probably be like, Matthew is a grown, mature man. I wish my son could grow up to be like him one day. A grown, mature man, but my son is perpetually stuck at being 9 years old. Oh my fucking God. Oh. Serenity now. Okay. So what are we working on? Boys? We still haven't done the timed. I think we got to a point where we were ready to test the timed mission code, but we hadn't actually tested it yet. No, we had it because I needed to think about how we were going to do the text. But we don't need both things in order to be true, right? Like, we don't need the text in order to test it. Obviously, we'll have to test the UI once we hook it up, but we can test the functionality some other way. Let's try that. Let's talk about that. Let's see. Oh, my throat is literally sore from all these, from the pseudo yelling I've been doing. I've been making really good progress on the map. So I haven't uploaded anything up to, I don't think I have. Oh, I did, but it looks like shit. Like the name, these names are cut off. It looks like shit because this map hasn't, I don't have any layers on anything. And so, but I've been using QGIS, and I've actually been making some progress on the tutorials. So let me show you this. Like, this is impressive. How could I find it? So if I go here, and let's see. No, not there. So this guy, he has a pretty impressive map for his fantasy world. So okay, so these are static maps, which are, they have their time and place. Interactive map, I think that's what I want. So you can see that it's a very fantasy world, but he has roads, and I think he even has it down to the point of some of these villages even have like maps of the village, but like this level of detail, like where he has like the green, the height map portion, the rivers, the tributaries, the little towns, all of that. Like, I mean, look at this. Like, all the little tributaries are named. Like, and oh, these are elevations. So, like 500 feet, 400 feet. So this is all like this. Like, I love maps. Like, I do. So, Forest of Torment. Ooh, Taghasif, Taghasif, Gorar. So I remember watching some videos. I think I talked about this last week. I watched some videos on fantasy worlds and like making your own fantasy world, and it was just talked about like the do's and don'ts of making your own. Like, I hate that it's all called fantasy world, but whatever. But like one of the bits of advice was to, if you look at a name and you're not and it looks impossible to pronounce, don't use that name, right? Like this actually kind of looks like, how would you like Mardate, I guess. Let's see. Dramiri, Kachongwa. So like I'm not like this. Like, what is this? Look. So it's like if you have these names of your places, like don't use it. Like, you know, like just come up with another name. So I've actually, this is what I was hoping to do this past week. Like, I was really hoping to just kind of like chill on the couch with my mom and do some just casual map work on art. Like, I know it has nothing to do with the game, or I shouldn't say it has nothing to do with the game. I know it adds nothing to the game, but this game, if anything, it's mostly just about me and what I enjoy doing, right? Like, it's just it's like something that that I enjoy, and I enjoy maps, and I enjoy making maps. So I was really looking forward to just kind of going through and just like, okay, like I had like some weird names of stuff, like I wasn't sure how to pronounce it. I was going through and I was just kind of renaming things, like this. I can't remember what name this was, but it was Samerland or Samerland. Like, I was like, what? I don't know how to pronounce that. So I renamed it to Samariland, which is named after my home state, which is Maryland. So this is Samariland. Powampun Peapot. This is Powampun Peapot. That is my wife's last name. Let's see. I added a couple of things like that. You know what? Wait, I already added something for Matthew. I'm pretty sure I already added Matthew's name on here somewhere. Like, I think it was over here. Yes, it was. I might have got lost. It might have gotten lost. I thought we renamed this because this little territory is a disputed territory. And I thought we had renamed it. It was Vir, V-I-R. Let me, I'm going to look that up. So anyway, like I made the map making process is something I really enjoy. I really enjoy. Vir. Yeah, it must have gotten lost. I don't see it. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll fix that now. I picture this place. So if I go back and I look here, this little area. Think like Palestine or the Gaza Strip or something. Now, without all the violence. I was going to say violence. So whatever you think I was going to say, keep it to yourselves, racist. But no, I think of this area as like a disputed. Like, I got to come up with a backstory for it. Like I talked a little bit about the backstories that I came up for Redstone and like why it is where it is and why and like that. So why is this area? You know what? I would assign it to the story architect. I would write a ticket but the story architect seems to be MIA. So we'll go over here. Yeah, we'll go here. We'll go here. We're going to go here. Okay, let's see. What we're going to do is we're going to write a new issue for Matthew. Since Matthew did some good work on the last ticket, I think he's ready for another ticket. I think he's ready. If I could click the fucking button, develop backstory for Ver. The city / territory of Ver. All right, so this is, but I am really, I love, oh, actually, wait a minute. I didn't even realize that. So wait, like if I go to another area. Okay, so but wait a minute. Was that hover text before? Let me see. Biome, temperate, deciduous forest, realm, culture. I mean, I kind of like I like the pop-up. I like the pop-up portion of it. And then some of them, Yeogsong. This is a very Korean sounding name. But the thing is I think with this guy's guidance, with the guidance that he has from this tutorial, tutorial series, I think we can make our fantasy world better. And it's not fantasy. Like I was saying earlier, like I don't like, because fantasy has this aspect of like magic and dragons and shit like that. I hate that shit. I like fantasy worlds based in reality. Like based in like no, there's no magic. Like it's such a cop out. Like as writers, you know, as we writers do. No, but it's such a cop out when it's just like, oh, magic did it. Oh, well, how did the bad guy escape the Shadow Realm? And what is the Shadow Realm? Magic. Oh, like it's just so dumb. Anyway. Okay, so we're going to go over here. So let's see. What information can I give to Matthew? I need a link button too, right? Because you can go over here. You can go to the full map. And it would be nice to have like a link. I'm trying to think of how hard that would be. Like to plop down a point and then get a link to it. I mean, AI would do most of it, but I'm just trying to think of an idea. I'm trying to think of, right? Because I did the AI. Well, I mean, AI has done 95% of this. Like technically fantasy, but based in reality. Well, the word fantasy to me, it implies dragons and magic and wizards and warlocks and shit like that. That's just what, like when I hear the word fantasy, like that's just kind of where my mind goes. I don't know how accurate that is. Whereas like, what would this be, right? Because like I think you probably have a good grasp of the, or a fair grasp of the world that I'm trying to create here. So I wouldn't call it fantasy. Like by the definition I laid out of fantasy, I wouldn't call it fantasy. I don't, but I wouldn't call it like sci-fi either. So I'm not sure what I don't know. Imaginary. Okay. Well, it's not. I think it's fantasy by definition. Definitely not all fantasy is dragons and magic. Okay, that's fair. Again, like I was just saying, like when I hear fantasy, that's what I think. I think dragons and magic and warlocks and The Hobbit. I mostly just think of The Hobbit. And nowadays, I think of Game of Thrones. When I hear the word fantasy, I think of Game of Thrones and I think warlocks. And it's the most common use, to be fair. Yeah. Okay. So I think maybe once I finish this stream, I'm going to go do See, the thing is like there's all these little things I want to do with this map. Like I could like a book, not a bookmark. What, I don't know what it would be called, but some way to basically, well, just the link to the view, right? Because you can do this in right. So like if I just go to a certain view, and then let's see if I go here, where is it? Show sidebar. Well, I thought this was the sidebar. Do I have to highlight something? Oh wait, I had the thing right there. Okay. So yeah, some way to just basically link to it. To link to a certain view. I think that would be helpful. And actually, it would be kind of easy because you would just need the zoom level and you would need the coordinates. But the thing is like, and like I want to improve this map, but all I'm doing right now is taking this and just exporting it as a PNG and running it through this tool that creates these tiles, and then I'm importing those tiles. That's fine. That works. But I want to do it in QGIS so that I can get really detailed like this guy's map. And like I said, I think we can do better. I mean, this is really good. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is really good. It's just that I know a lot of this was done in QGIS, whereas I'm still stuck in Asgar's fantasy map generator, which no shade against Asgar's fantasy map generator. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, let me write this fucking ticket. But Matthew, you know the area I'm talking about, this area, which is mislabeled. Broadly Ganta. It's called Ver. It will be updated to Ver. As a matter of fact, let me see. Okay, so I went over here. I changed it. Let me save it. Just to make it official. And I got to save it here. This is the other thing that annoys me. I got to copy this map file because there's no save as, because this is basically just running in a browser window. But it's not running as a local container app. It's running as a browser or as a website essentially. So let's see. I go over here, delete this, rename this, and then come over here. Make sure that's the only one. Git add Asgar, yeah. Git commit. Renaming the no. This city is dedicated to my homie Matthew. All right. Git push. Now it's official. Well, not until this push succeeds. Okay, now it's official. Now let's write this ticket. Okay, develop backstory for the city of Ver. The requirements are, we should know why. Let's see. It's Velu, and what's the name of the other nation? Beryl. Okay, Velu, Beryl. Yeah, Velu and Beryl. Let's do this. I do like this new feature of Chrome, but I just wish you could drag. Like, I was able to drag something. I could have swore I was able to drag. Like, can I, wait, no? Let me see. If I do it here, there's no way to like drag it into the URL bar or anything. Yeah, there's no way to drag it in, which annoys me, but it is what it is. Took me a minute to realize how to split them again. No, I think I like that feature a lot, actually. I actually like it quite a bit. Okay. So let me talk a little bit about this because we're not doing any programming tonight. Okay. So I talked about the event of the world known as the drift, right? And that's where like now the orbit of the planet is all out of whack, and because of that, the seas, the oceans and the seas have basically become impossible to navigate of any real distance, which is why the only route that connects this part of the world to this part of the world is through here. Okay. That also means that this island nation, which used to be visited all the time from, all places, is basically now nobody. That event that cut everything off happened before telegraphs. It happened before phones and radio and all of that. So this community is completely separated from the rest of the world. Nobody knows if they're all dead. Maybe they were washed away. Nobody knows anything about them. Okay. The only reason I say that is because it would be, I don't know how. It would help if our story architect was here, but I don't know if that could be worked into how this area is disputed somehow. So we should know why Ver is disputed. Disputed between Velu and Beryl. Is this a violent dispute or a purely diplomatic dispute or something in between? All right, let's see. What else? So we got that. Oh yeah, are there any rivers or anything? There it is. Okay, no, there's no rivers. We do need more rivers though. What about mountains? No, it's pretty low lying. Okay, all right. Not married to the height map. Am kind of married to the border. Although I guess maybe not. Let's see. I know this is very interesting. Very, very interesting stream. Let's see. Is this a violent or diplomatic dispute or something in between? We should know for how long. For how long has it been disputed? Since before or after the drift? Are gay people? No. What are the territories' pronoun? No. No modern day politics. No, nothing like that. Are the women hot? No. Let's see. I have an idea. Let me do this for a minute. Give me a sec. Come on, ChatGPT. God, ChatGPT is slow. Give me one sec. Okay. Let's see. Show me. Okay. There is a disputed territory between Beryl and Velu called Ver. Show me. Okay, what? Okay, it is a temperate, like it is a temperate and low-lying piece of land that's not that big, actually. Show me what some hot women from Ver might look like with some customary clothing and some customary clothing and hairstyles. Let's see what ChatGPT comes up with. I pay for Copilot now. It's so useful for web and game development in Visual Studio. It's worth the investment because I was so easily reaching free limit. Yeah, it's absolutely worth it. Why weren't you paying for it all along? It's so much easier to pay for it than to try to get it for free. We're talking about Copilot, by the way. No, I know. I again, this is going to sound like a humble brag because it kind of is, but I used to be in what was it? It was the Microsoft. It wasn't a Microsoft developer program, but it was like summer. You basically a development like through work, you would get access to early features from Microsoft, and Copilot was in that. And this was back. I want to say it was before COVID, but I don't think it was. It just things are foggy. But for a long time, I was using Copilot, and then I started paying for Copilot. I wasn't reaching the limit. Now I wasn't reaching the limits. Now I do. It's such a good pair programmer. It enhances my core knowledge and allows me to flourish. It's an excellent tool. That's the thing. Like this website, like this, like. This is one of those things where I feel that like my experience and knowledge as a programmer made me be able to do this as quickly as I was and as well as it's done. I feel like it's pretty well done. I mean, it's still kind of like a work in progress, but the fact that so the part where the experience comes in is like, okay, well, I've got the wiki, the map, and the website, different repos. They all interact with each other. You got jobs that build everything. Like that's all part of the experience. Like just the fact that I know I wanted those things because that's a good workflow. That's the kind of thing where the experience helped. But the AI is like, okay, like this is the frame layout I want. I need help with like Leaflet, which is the JavaScript library that's being used for this mapping, and like just like the AI, like it would have could I have done it without AI? Sure. Would I have had the patience to do it without AI? Probably not. If I did have the patience to do it without AI, how long would it have taken me to get to this point? I got to this point in a matter of a month and a half, just working on it on and off, right? No, actually, no. I started doing this mostly before I got to Senegal. I think I was like in Italy when I started really like hammering down on this. And that was, when was that? That was like early February. It was like February 1st or 2nd. So yeah, so like a month and a half. Actually, like a month and a half, I've gotten this far. And with AI, it would have taken me probably 4 or 5 months to get this far without AI. It would have taken me a long time. And it wouldn't be this good. It wouldn't be this good. Because simple things like adding this frame at the top, that would have taken me a couple of hours to like, all right, now I got to do this, and now I got to tweak it over here. But no, I just tell AI, and AI does it. It's perfect. AI is an amazing tool. That's the thing. It's an amazing tool, but you need to know how to use the tool properly. Anybody can use a hammer, but only a skilled professional is going to be able to build something of quality with a hammer. So anyway, what was I talking? Oh, we were trying to figure out, with great power comes great responsibility. That is the truth. And speaking of which, I have got to pee. I'll be right back, boys. I'm back, boys. Yeah, and it's not so well versed in it's so well versed in web dev. Well, I would imagine that web development is probably the lion's share of development that's done these days, and probably has been for quite some time. My website became mobile friendly, cleaned up and vibrant without hours. I'm guessing you mean within hours, because I knew what I wanted and how to do it. Of course, exactly, and it's like you might not you might not know the details of what you want to do, but you know the methodology to get there, and I think that's what's important. There is. Like vibe coders, the quality of the prompts you give to AI matters. And you're only going to get quality prompts from somebody with experience. And it's like any other thing, like any other task, any other tool. The more you use it, the better you'll get at it. But these people, like our resident vibe coder that likes to come in here every now and then, it's just, again, these people, they think that like, no, I'm just gonna have it rewrite this app and redo this. Oh, it's like, okay, show me the finished product. Where's the finished product? They talk a lot about vibe code and what they're going to vibe code and what vibe code's going to do. Show me a finished product. Show it. Let's see it. Okay. Where were we? Oh, wow. I mean, these look kind of like Viking women. Okay. Anyway, that's kind of that was actually very generic. Like, and also, why did it create white women, huh? Okay. All right. Let me get back to Matthew's ticket. Wait, did I close it? Oh, my stars and garters. What happened? I think I closed the ticket, boys. Yeah. Let me see. Is it going to... Let's see. That's website. I want to go under the wiki. Is it going to save the draft? Oh, come on. Where did it go? Okay. It didn't. I don't see it. Yeah. Turn on history search powered by AI. All right. Is it one of these? 541. It was probably more further back in time than 541. That's maps. 541. All right. Well, all right. We might as well just start over. Where did I put it? There it is. Okay. Create a backstory for the disputed city territory of Ver. Things we should know. Okay. Why is it disputed between... Oh my... I gotta sit up so I can type correctly. Why is it disputed between Velu and Beryl? Is it a oh my god, I cannot type. Peaceful or violent dispute or something in between? For how long has it been disputed? Before the drift? After? Let's see. What else can we talk about with this disputed territory of Bologata? Okay. So I think I did do a road. There's something called, okay, routes. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, come on. Oh, there it is. It's right there. But why can I not? Okay, there we go. Okay, so there is a route that goes from here up there. Nothing connecting that. The routes are not definitive. Typical life of its inhabitants. Yeah. Let's see. What are the politics of the inhabitants? Are there people who are more loyal to one nation more than another? People, let's see. Let's actually do this. People who want independence. Wait, how the fuck do you spell independence? Oh, I'm forgetting the N. But is it ENC or A? I feel like it's ANC, but that also feels wrong. But it's right. I mean, it's wrong. Okay, it's all E's. Okay. Forget the game. Let's just build. I mean, that's kind of like where I've been the past few months, if you haven't noticed, just like building lore. They're both fun. And like, we're going to do some game programming. We'll do some game programming tomorrow night. I need to figure out what I want to do for the UI for the timer. I want to figure out how I remember ending the stream one night by saying I have to think about this, and then I promptly forgot about it. So I have to think about it. We will tackle that tomorrow night. That is my commitment to you, all three viewers, that tomorrow night we will address the we'll address the time missions. And at some point this week we will do a members only stream. I remember one topic is Robbie and the other is, I already forgot the other one. It's something. What I forgot what it was. Okay. Let's see. Looking at the map. I think that's probably good for now. Let's see. You know what? Where's ChatGPT? because we're a team, we want to develop a backstory for Ver. Here is a bullet point list of things we want to address in the backstory. What things would you add to this list? Oh my God. Do not generate the things. Just tell me, or just tell me what additional things you'd address. Here's my list. Let's see what AI comes up with. What makes Ver geographically unique? Is it fertile farmland, marsh? Are there natural borders? How did the drift affect Ur compared to surrounding regions? That's interesting. That's not bad. I like that one. Okay. Why does each nation want Ver? Wasn't that addressed? If it wasn't addressed, then it should be. That should be one of the. Wait, why is it disputed? Yeah, that's like the first thing. Does it control an important trade route? No. Does it act as a buffer? Is it an important military stage in our surveillance? Economic. What resources exist? That's something, you could have I don't want to tell the lore writer how to write his lore. I mean, that's a job for the story architect, but I'm just saying that you could have over here in Redlestone. Remember, we talked about Redlestone and how Redlestone is an actual type of stone, and we talked about why it's important. Although, did I document that? I might not have You know what? I will do that tonight. If I haven't documented, I will document that. I'm going to send myself a note. Document why Redlestone is important. Okay, so just completely forget what I was just talking about. I know the stone is there. I can't remember why it's important or what it's used for. So there was I don't think I put this in the wiki. I talked about it, but I don't think I've documented it. So what the idea is that, remember, oh, my stars and garters. So this is actually, I'll use this one. This is just the known world. And then there's this whole unknown world. This portion of the map can still change. It's just there kind of to represent that, like, there's parts of the world we don't know anything about. But then there was that one explorer who, like, he went on his big journey and he came back with people. And then they brought this very addictive substance, which in my mind, I kind of equate as like this, like, chocolate coffee mixture type of thing. And of course, the people went fucking crazy for it. But what they didn't realize is that this plant, or like maybe it's a bean, a plant, I don't know. I think that still needs to be determined. But whatever, but it's a plant that grows, and it's invasive. And so it's extremely invasive. So what happened was the people that came back, I think I called it Nari, Nari. I have notes. I will look them up and I will document this tonight. But it had this addictive substance, Nari, and then the people from Ankara, I will document all of this. They brought this substance, and it was always potted, even when they got off of the ships and they were settled in the towns and everything. They always planted it was always in these pots. And the reason is because what happened was people stole some of the pots, some of the locals, and then they started planting it locally, and it completely just started eviscerating their local crops. And they soon realized that, holy shit, this is a very, very invasive species. And now that I'm talking about this, I don't know how realistic this is, but this is a very invasive plant. And so the only way to really stop it, the only way you could plant it in the ground without it spreading, was to kind of coat the area with something called Redlestone. I don't know how realistic that is now. I like the idea of the story. So basically, Redlestone was a type of stone, a particular type of stone that was used to basically stop the spread of this Nari plant. And the pots, you come to find out that the pots were made of Redlestone, and the people, but what happened is, see, this is where it gets kind of mixed up. I remember writing this all in a plane. So I think what I was trying to get to, and I'm kind of making this up, but also remembering. So this is kind of off the top of my head as well. So what it is the natives, the Ankarans, the Ankarans, they realized that some of the locals, the Ankarans are not locals, they realized some of the locals had taken their plant and stole it. So the Ankarans, they started setting fire, which is another way to stop the spread. And then the locals, they didn't understand because it hadn't become a problem yet. So the Ankarans were then banished to this area because they were like, oh, these people are destroying our crops. But then the locals soon realized, like, oh shit, they were trying to stop the spread of this very invasive species of plant. And it so happened that, okay, what I'm about to say, I don't like it, but this is where my mind was going. So the people were banished to this area here, but then they so happened to discover that, because this is mountainous, that there was Redlestone in those mountains, the very stone that stops the spread of this invasive species. And so but see, that's where the story kind of breaks down, right? It just so happens that the stone that the people need, got to think about that. I like the idea of Redlestone being a stone that stops the spread of this plant. I'm just trying to figure out how. Okay, yeah, let's stick with that. Redlestone is the. I'll document all of this. Redlestone is the stone, but that's kind of stupid though. Why would you need a particular type of stone? Only that stone can stop the spread of that plant. I guess we could make it so that maybe the stone had some kind of religious importance, and maybe. Well, I know I want the plant to be invasive. All right, this is an area I need to work on. I'm going to work on it tonight. I'm working on it. We'll figure it out. So I was going to say that maybe it could have something to do with Redlestone, but you know what? It doesn't need to have anything to do with Redlestone. And actually, why is this all? The invasive plant spread to a small spot of Redlestone. Villagers noticed. The stone has a specific composition that kills the chemical in the plant. That could work, because I was also thinking that part of what they do, of what the Ankarans think. I was also thinking part of what they do is they could take the Redlestone and grind it up, and like with sand or something, and then like spread it around, and that also stops the spread of the plant. I like that you seem to be liking creating the lore too. I like that. I just wish our story architect was also taking part of this. But that's fine. That's fine. He's on thin ice though. I don't know. His job we might soon have an opening for a new story architect, and I've already got somebody in mind for the job. All right, boys. I'm going to head out. I'll work on that tonight, Matthew. I will have something up before I go to bed, and I will link you. Does it pay more? It's a lateral move. It's a lateral move, and unfortunately I can't say what it pays. Signed an NDA. All right. I'll be back tomorrow night, 4:00. Love you. Miss you. See you then. Be sure to click and subscribe. I will. I'll go ahead and create. I'll create tomorrow night's. I'll create a link. This stream's link was not created ahead of time because I thought I would be spending I thought I'd be having a lovely evening with my mother. But yeah. All right. And in case you're listening, I love you, Mom. All right, boys. I'll talk to you later.